Welcome into Between the Pylons. I'm John Camacho.
And this is Jacob Waters.
And guys, we have an awesome show for you guys today. We are taking the entire podcast to go through all 32 teams and talk about their biggest needs at their first pick, right? We're really just going to focus on the first pick. We're going to do it a little bit differently than I feel like I've seen anybody else, do this because, draft season, you get stuff like this all the time, right? What we're going to do is we're going to focus on what teams did during free agency, right? And not just the first round of free agency where they get the big names. I'm more worried about what was the position they were targeting in week 3, in week 4 of free agency. What is the position that they're telling us that they feel like they have a need at, so they're trying to get more depth? That's the positions that I'm just kind of curious about, because that is always a big indicator as to what teams will look at in the draft. So that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to look at every single team. We got a big one. You ready?
Yeah, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. Oh, we gotta shout out our team, the Sevens.
The Sevens
Started our softball league.
We had some good games tonight.
Yeah.
We walked away winning both games in awesome fashion.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't play the same games that we did we?
Yeah, we're lying. Okay.
We got our teeth kicked in the first game. We got humbled a little bit, and then you know what? We were ready to go for the second game, and we got fucking humbled again. Yeah. Sometimes, no matter how bad you want to piece it together, it just doesn't.
Didn't work out.
There's times where I equate ourselves to the 2007 Detroit Lions, where we don't have the offense to score, but we don't have the defense to stop. So we're just out there.
2007 Giants, all right? 2007 Giants. We're not going to be a good team, but we're going to sneak into the playoffs and we're going to go on a run.
I was about to say, I just went from one of the historically worst teams ever.
So we're not the Patriots, all right? We're not the Patriots that are going to blow up the entire season and be the best team in the league. But hey, we're going to be a just okay team. We're going to win a couple games here and there, get into the playoffs, make some noise. That's our goal. All right, let's get back to football. All right, so like I said, we're going to get right into it because we got all 32 teams. Arizona Cardinals pick. Let me look up the picks here. Sorry, I'm going back and forth. They have the 16th pick in the draft, went 8-8 last year. Obviously, this is their third year of the rebuild. Obviously, this is a big year for Cliff Kingsbury. This is a big year for Kyler Murray. Let's look at some of the positions that they targeted this year. They're one of those teams, they got a lot of big names, right? They got the J.J. Watt. They got the AJ Green. They got Rodney Hudson, their center. Yeah, they traded for a center. They got some big names. You'll see they attack corner. They lost a corner in Patrick Peterson, so corner makes sense for them. I would say lineman makes sense just looking at some of the players that they signed. A kicker, they signed a center. That's about it. What do you think? Like, what were your first reactions to Arizona?
When I'm looking at Arizona, man, they've gotten better in a lot of areas. They're a very good up-and-coming team, and I think, like you said, secondary. I think the secondary position is one of those things that they need to upgrade immediately. I also think with the offensive line, though, it depends because it is a deep class, and that's probably where I think I'm going to mock them. Is just getting any offensive lineman so they can help Kyler Murray, and they signed James Conner today too, by the way. Yeah. So they can just help that offense really get going because I think they're going to be able to go as far as that can take them.
Yeah. I look at Arizona. I look at them as a team that is in play for a running back in round 2. I know they signed James Conner, whatever. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, I just don't think that matters. I'm looking at it right now. It doesn't look like they retained the main running back they had from the Dolphins, whose name Kenyon Drake is gone. I don't know if he's even signed anywhere yet. It would make sense that they would target maybe not second round, but third, fourth. I look at round 1. I think you're absolutely right. Offensive line, or I think secondary is the other part. They re-signed a Robert Alford. They grabbed a Malcolm Butler, who
very team friendly deal.
Team friendly deal. But Malcolm Butler's on the tail end. Like, I'm not looking at that signing as like, oh, they shored up that hole. That to me that says, oh, they feel like they have a need there, and Malcolm Butler could be the starter, or at least could be the guy that they put in place for a young rookie that they have. Exactly. Signed a couple safeties as well. So I think either secondary or the cornerback, safety, or probably not safety, cornerback or offensive lineman for round 1. That's what I would say. All right, we're gonna go kind of rapid fire here because we are trying to get through all 32 teams in under an hour. So we're gonna get right
it's
ahead.
Gonna be tough.
It is.
Some of them will go quick though.
Some of them are gonna go quick. Some of them are obvious.
Yeah,
Atlanta Falcons, right? Got the 4th pick in the draft. A lot has been talked about this draft. What is your first reaction about Atlanta?
Man, Atlanta's different because I think they're going to trade. I mean, I have no other reason to think why they wouldn't trade, given the fact that if they don't, Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. I've stuck to my guns on that from the beginning. I've said that I think Kyle Pitts will be the first non-quarterback taken. It's bold in saying that, but that is just assuming that the Falcons cannot find a trade partner, or they give the Justin Fields pick away at number 4, and then
or they possibly. I've heard rumors that the owner really, really likes Lance. Trey Lance.
Wow.
I've heard that rumor, and it's rumor season, so you
Justin
take that
Fields
for what it
being
is.
The 5th quarterback taken off the board
Very
is
possible.
disrespectful.
It's very, very possible, though. It really is. All right, so
where do you think
this is where I like it? You mentioned tight end. They did acquire Lee Smith in a trade with the Buffalo Bills, so that makes a little bit of sense. I look at linebacker. I really do. I look at this team. If they were able to
say defense,
you can say defense just in general because that's what we know they need. But I mean, they signed multiple linebackers to 1-year deals. That feels like they're trying to add some depth there. Defensive line as well makes sense. It would not surprise me a bit if they honestly, I don't think they should take hits at F4. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think this is a team that needs help on the defense more than they need help as a kind of a it's a sexy pick. It's an awesome pick.
Anyone could use a Kyle Pitts just because of the offensive weapon that he is.
Yeah.
But if you're the Atlanta Falcons, you have enough on paper offensively with Arthur Smith stepping in. You can be okay. They need this pick to be as appealing as they can, and maybe that Trey Lance thing is just a rumor to get some fire going.
Yeah.
So you can start to get some
They
smoke
want to trade
going.
out, yeah.
You have to trade out because I think a trade down to like 10, 11, 12, 13-ish, that is where you want to land because you can pick up your assets, you can let the team move up and get whatever the hell they need, and then you can take that defensive stud that you don't want to grab it for.
Yeah.
Because it's not super top heavy there.
Yeah.
So that could leave them with taking a Parsons, they could take a Caleb Farley, they could take a Kwity Paye. All of those levels on the defensive line where they could help
one of those
themselves,
guys would be there at 11, 12.
not to mention the assets that you
And
get.
honestly, we've heard the Cowboys have been a strong proponent for Kyle Pitts. I sent you a message after you broke that's your prediction for the number 4 pick to be Kyle Pitts.
That's what I need to happen.
I think Cowboys trading up, that would make sense for both sides. And yeah, to me, I'm looking at Parsons and a trade down situation for Atlanta. That's what I'm looking for. We'll move right along here. Let's go to the Baltimore Ravens. This team wasn't quite as active. Obviously got a Kevin Zeitler from the Giants. Excuse me, sorry, I lost it. They were able to re-sign Tyus Bowser. They were able to re-sign a couple of players here and there. But yeah, this is a team feels like they're one step away. They have let me pull it up just so I have it. Where
27.
is it? 27. Thank you. You saw a little bit faster than me. I think what I think that pick should be. The player I want it to be. Where do you look at for the Baltimore
Ravens? We're both going to say we're both pretty much going to say the same thing, and I think almost every single NFL draft analyst is doing the same thing. It's wide receiver.
Yeah,
it's got to be wide receiver because I think if you're wanting to see that Lamar Jackson development, you have to get him a true playmaker. You have to get him a guy that can be a true wide receiver. Hollywood Brown is very flashy and electric and exciting to watch. I just think when you look at the way that he's able to play, I think you need a guy with a ginormous catch radius that can benefit Lamar Jackson.
Terrace Marshall is the guy for me at 27. I really like that pick. That's the guy I've been mocking all year. I will not move off that until it doesn't happen, which it probably won't happen because I've said it so many times. They did sign Sammy Watkins. Other than that, and other than the Kevin Zeitler, most of the re-signs or the moves that they've made, the additions that they've made, has all been along that defensive line. So it does stand to reason that maybe they're in play for Jason Owe at that part of the draft. A defensive end that's it's all potential, right? And the Ravens are the kings of exactly. And the Ravens are the king of somebody fell that shouldn't have fallen and they fell in their lap and they're going to take them. So that's always what they try to do. But think about second, third, fourth round. I could definitely see linebacker and defensive line being a big part of their draft. Anywhere else you want to go with that?
No, wide receiver. I'm just trying to look at some of those later round wide receivers in my head. I like Terrace Marshall the most because of the body size and the big playability and just the overall ability to be a good wide receiver instead of the flashy electric. Rondale Moore kind of in that later round. I don't like the 5'7" ability for him when it comes to fitting in with this Baltimore Ravens team. I love Rondale Moore a lot more than a lot of other people. I'm just trying to think of the
You're saying in the first round. Or are you saying the first round or down the line?
Team fit wise.
Team fit. You wouldn't grab a Rondale Moore now.
Kadarius Toney.
Honestly,
I don't think they should grab a Kadarius Toney.
No, I think Terrace Marshall is the perfect fit.
That's what I'm saying. Like Kadarius Toney is an electric football player, a first-round caliber wide receiver.
Yeah.
I don't like the fit on the Baltimore Ravens necessarily, though.
To me, they're like, I don't think Rashad Bateman's a first-round wide receiver. Rashad Bateman's another guy that I would say
Terrace
fits
Marshall,
them.
Rashad Bateman, or Elijah Moore.
Yes, Elijah Moore is, again, another one of those smaller,
Elijah Moore is,
but I get what you're saying in the second round or something like that. Yeah, I see what you're saying with that. Are you looking at, like, maybe they go line, like, are you trying to think, second, third round, what wide receiver are they trying to take, or where are you thinking with that?
No, I mean, they're going to target a few of them. I think they should. Devin Duvernay did very good last year, though. I think that
he flashed. He certainly flashed.
He did flash, and I'm hoping that if a lot of inaccuracy issues with Lamar and maybe letting him go more might be better for him. They could try to shore up the offensive line as well.
Yeah, they definitely need help there. Yeah. All right, perfect. You get anywhere else you want to go with that?
We're good.
We'll go to the Buffalo Bills. This is a team that you got to think they're reloading. I think I know where they're going to go round one, and I don't know if I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but you look at the moves they made. They moved on from a John Brown. That was kind of a cap casualty. They were paying way too much for a guy no contact balance for a John Brown, and he's been on enough teams to where we kind of know what he is. Emmanuel Sanders, they bring him in, so that's a wide receiver on his, fourth team in 3 years. Yeah. So, I mean, we know what he is at this point in his career as well. Signed a backup quarterback, signed a couple of linemen here and there. But they don't have, there's not like one position that I'm looking at that they're just like have attacked. By the way, Buffalo picks at 30. So back into that first round, that's a tough spot to kind of project. But what do you think for Buffalo here?
So I'm going to go different than what I think you're going to say, because it's you're going to probably target the wide receiver position.
Yeah. They're another wide receiver team.
I am led to think that it would be a sexy first running back off the board pick, just because I would like to see that happen. But all in all, I think it's going to go. I think it's going to go back to that defensive line.
Yeah, I
think they desperately need a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. That's something that I held on to throughout the season, and really, I look at it like they got F.A. Obebe to a 1-year deal. Other than that, really didn't sign anybody on the defensive line. Signed a couple of linebackers, re-signed one, and signed
I think it is defensive lineman.
Yeah, I get that. They
need a pass rush.
I could also see offensive linemen just because I'm looking at some of the positions they attacked. They grabbed a Forrest Lamp on free agency. They grabbed a John Feliso, a couple guards, Darrell Williams to be there.
Is a good one.
Yeah, and they think they re-signed him. He's a good player. I think he'll be a fine tackle to be a part of that starting lineup. I absolutely agree. I think wide receivers, like the position we all want to that's the sexy pick or whatever, and I certainly think it could happen. But offensive line, defensive line, wide receiver, those are the three positions that build probably attack, right?
Yeah,
fair enough. Anywhere else you want to go with that?
No, they're re-upping. They're going to go.
Who's your dream selection with the 30th pick? Just while I pull up the next guy.
Etienne or Najee.
Really? So you don't want to go through the three positions we mentioned, or you want to go running back?
You said dream. I said that I have a dream that they would take. I said it is a sexy pick to take the running back there.
Oh, it absolutely.
It would be a sexy pick. What do they need? Would be the defensive lineman.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I absolutely agree with that. Let me pull up. We're going to talk Panthers now. They've been an interesting conversation. Gregory Rousseau at
Buffalo.
Okay. Yeah.
Takes a bit of a fall.
Buffalo. Oh, okay. With Buffalo. Oh, that's a really good one. I like that. Yeah, because that fits where I think he should go too. Because a lot of people talked about him as mid first round. I don't see that for Gregory. So I think he's a back half of the first, beginning of the second type of guy. Really back half of the first, just because there he would have a chance to really, he'd have time to relax on a good team to really project into what he could be. So yeah, I like that a lot. We'll move on to the Carolina Panthers, and this is an interesting one because until the Sam Darnold trade, and we hit on the Carolina Panthers a lot last week, so we're not going to spend a ton of time here. But they were the team you would think quarterback. Do you still think there's a chance to go quarterback? I know we mentioned that a little bit last year.
I said no to quarterback.
You said you did.
I said no to the quarterback.
You did.
Give it that this move was going quarterback, though.
Yeah.
I mean, this just didn't happen in the draft. This happened in another acquisition. I love it for Sam Darnold. I think it's a great spot. I would really like to see him going. Got to be defense.
Yeah, I think corner. I think corner is the move. I'm just looking.
They need a true number one.
Yeah, they really do. And I love doing this thing where we're basing on what did they grab in free agency second and third day. AJ Bouye, an aging corner, to a $7 million deal. They 2 years, $7 million. They paid a little bit more than he's worth right at this point in his career. Rashawn Melvin, another 1 year deal type of guy. Corner makes a lot of sense to me at 8. And I'll be honest, like I've heard people talk about some of these top corners. I've heard somebody say, or an analyst say, that their top 3 corners are all top 15 picks in his opinion.
Yeah.
So this
Farley, Surtain, and J.C. Horn.
Yeah, and well, actually, his was the Georgia guy. They didn't even have J.C. They had J.C. Horn at 4. I know you love J.C. Horn, but I was putting that out there. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me a bit if they could sit at 8 and grab the top corner on the board.
I think they should, and I think they will.
Really?
I like what they're doing with their defensive line. Mm-hmm. I have also said that this is a pick for me where I would go Parsons, the linebacker.
Parsons is
and I've seen a lot of people saying that Joker out of Notre Dame, the way that he plays, high motor, he is ferocious, he is fast, he is intense. He can lead a defense. He's a guy you want to go into battle with. And there's a lot of people saying that maybe the Joker could be linebacker 1 in this class. I still have always sat with Parsons. I think he could really fit into like a Luke Kuechly role on the defense and get things going. But corner,
Final
answer.
Yeah, I would go corner first round and then offensive lineman second round. Beginning of the second, there's a starter going in the beginning of the second round. So yeah, I like that a lot. We'll move on to the Bears. The Bears, I don't think they have a first round pick, do they?
Yeah, they pick at 20.
Oh yeah, they this is their first year having a first round pick in a while.
They don't know what to do with it.
They don't know what to do with it. What's your initial thoughts while I pull up their
initial thoughts is that hope that some disaster happens and a quarterback somehow miraculously falls to pick 12, 13-ish, and then you can make the trade, because I just don't know if you have enough assets to be able to move up and get something done. So, I know they have names. There's a way that they could make this move. I think they desperately need quarterback. But if we're going to ignore the fact that it's most likely not quarterback, offensive line, perhaps.
To me, this is a team where I'm throwing out what we talked about with just looking at they've re-signed a couple corners. They got a Desmond Trufant. They got safety. Yeah, so but other than that, their positions are pretty evened out as far as like what positions they've attacked in free agency. So not one position stands out to me. And I look at this team. I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say about Andy Dalton. They did not sign Andy Dalton to be their starting quarterback. I don't care what they told Andy Dalton. They did not sign Andy Dalton to be their starting quarterback. They signed him to be the backup. They are going to attack and get a quarterback in this class. And look, I think there's one of two things. First of all, I genuinely believe it's going to be quarterback 1, 2, 3, and not another one goes in the top 10. And maybe there's a trade up, but I don't see why there would be. Like, so
we'll drop it. Yeah.
Yeah. I really just go down the list. Like, literally go down the list really quick. And we're gonna spend an extra second on the Bears just because it kind of feeds into this theory that I've had the past couple of days. Atlanta maybe, but I'm gonna say no. Okay, I'm gonna say they have enough good years with Matt Ryan. You try and like put that together, get a couple of good defensive pieces. Maybe you believe you can do that. Cincinnati obviously no. Philadelphia Eagles or Philadelphia Miami. Traded out. So sorry, that's Miami now. Miami no. Detroit. I guess maybe, but no, really, honestly not. I think this is your rebuild year. You see what you have in Goff, and you move on from there. Carolina, I would assume no now that they made that trade. Denver, I know a lot of people have said that. I don't think Denver drafts a quarterback. And to be perfectly honest, outside of the top 2 in this draft, I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft that is immediately better than Drew Lock. And in my opinion, this is a team with Vic Fangio that they have to prove that they can do something. Vic Fangio's on the hot seat, so why would you go to bat with another rookie quarterback that I don't think is immediately better? Maybe they have a better top end potential, and I know that take is maybe bold, and some people would disagree with that. That's fine. In my opinion, I don't think I look at anybody in this class that's immediately better than Drew Lock week 1 of this season. All right. I'm not saying anything past that. And then Dallas, obviously, no. Right. Then you go Giants, Philadelphia, no, Chargers, Minnesota. The Patriots are the next team that realistically drafts a quarterback. Yeah. You could say Atlanta, okay. You could say Denver, okay. You could say Detroit, okay. But I would say all 3 of those teams, less than 40% chance they draft one. Like, I would say 30 to 35% chance they draft one. So the
whole thought being is that if they get past 10, it's you can trade that up because I mean the price drops tremendously going up from a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
That we see that all the time. We could see a 20 to 13 no problem. We're not batting an eye at it.
Exactly. You know? It stands to reason that the three teams that are going to be looking at quarterback outside of the top three that we know are going quarterback is Chicago at 20, Washington at 19, and the Patriots at 15. All three of those teams, to me, feel like a team that they are actively going to be very, very seriously considering a trade up to get a quarterback, and we'll just see what happens. Patriots at 15 probably aren't going to be able to sit there and get the quarterback they want, assuming they're not already off the board, right? Assuming that they're interested in one of those guys that doesn't get drafted top three. And then it's the same kind of thing. Chicago, Washington, one of those teams is going to trade up. You're telling me I would think Chargers would love to trade down. I would think Eagles would consider trading down again.
I think it's a perfect spot because you have to catch New England with cold feet just chilling, and Chicago needs to jump above them somewhere between 10 to 13.
Exactly. And it's just going to be one of those things. It's I genuinely believe once you get into that range, it's just going to be a game of chicken a little bit. Which team is willing to pull the trigger, or which team, and they're going to be negotiating against themselves a little bit. We'll see what happens, and that's kind of where I think it is. I think at the end of the day, there's two teams. There's 5 quarterbacks that are traditionally considered first round quarterbacks at this point. 2 of them are probably, I would say right now, going to go to either Chicago, Washington, or the Patriots. One of those teams is going to miss out on one of those top guys.
Oh, of course. Someone's going to miss.
Yeah. That's just how I see it right now. Maybe, obviously,
so tell me real quick then before we close the book on the Bears, because we're both going to go ahead and say trade up for quarterback. Mm-hmm. That's what we think they should do. What if they don't trade and there is no quarterback available? What do they do? Because I think they're really dropping the ball.
I'm going to say something, and this is not based on my opinion. That I have not watched this player yet, and I probably should have a long time ago, but I haven't. But I've heard an analyst talk about this player as a first round quarterback throughout the process. Somebody that has hit a shit ton. I'm about to say Kellen Mond. Yep. Chicago could sit and draft Kellen Mond. And I'm not saying I know everyone's losing their fucking mind. I get it. I'm not saying this, but what I am saying is Chris Sims is, in my personal opinion, the best quarterback evaluator on the market right now. Like he has hit every fucking year. He's been right every fucking year.
Kellen Mond.
And he swears by Kellen Mond being a top. He has Kellen Mond ahead of Lance and the Ohio State one. I mean, Fields. Like he has Kellen Mond as a tried and true first round quarterback, and he could be wrong.
So you're saying it's safe to assume that other NFL teams might have a similar
would make sense to me. Yeah. It would make sense to me. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that I told you when I went on this rant a little bit that there are 2 possibilities. Either Chicago trades up or they feel comfortable enough sitting because they want Kellen Mond. Or maybe one of the other. Maybe they want Trask. I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm saying one of the other guys in this class.
I'm trying to think about anywhere else they go, it just doesn't make sense because, yeah, they could use talent in other places, but I mean, in a lot of areas, they're a very well put together football team.
They need offensive line help. They need a better.
They have a subpar offensive line.
Yeah,
I like their wide receiver core. They might be able to get a better one here and there, but
they need a better play caller and scheme.
What is play calling and who's been throwing the ball to them?
Yeah. I absolutely agree. I really do. And if you, I don't believe in Matt Nagy. I think he should have been gone 2 years ago, personally. But hey, I hate saying that because I was in love with him when they hired him. But yeah, I look at this team as like I don't think it matters who's behind under center. I really don't. I think it's a Matt Nagy problem. But we'll see what happens. I think we spent enough time on the Bears. I know that kind of got into just quarterback convo in general. We're not going to spend much time at all on Cincinnati. We know what they're doing, number one, right? Wait, I'm sorry. That was last year. I'm a dumbass. I'm so sorry. Cincinnati. We are going to spend some time in Cincinnati.
Not much.
What do you think? I mean, it's obvious, right? Like we kind of know what they're doing, right?
After seeing Burrow get hurt, we've said it time and time again. It should be as simple as protect the man.
Yeah.
Penei Sewell.
How do you pass on Penei Sewell? You pretty much you got a gift from God for the Dolphins trading down to 6. Because the Dolphins were taking Penei Sewell at 6.
Yeah.
And I think the only reason the Dolphins make that trade is if they probably weren't
3.
Excuse me. Yeah, the Dolphins would definitely take Sewell at 6, and I think they would have taken Sewell at 3, and I think they traded down because they wanted Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts. I've said from the beginning they made that trade knowing there were 3 guys on their board they were okay with. I think they made that trade accepting the fact that Sewell wasn't probably not going to be there because the Bengals would take him, and they're okay with taking a Jamar Chase.
We get to see the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow reuniting.
That's possible too.
If you make me say not Panay, it would be Jamar off of that, based off the chemistry alone that those two have shown to have. But I think they're really short up at that wide receiver position enough. Yeah. It's not leaps and bounds ahead of you. Yeah.
But it's not a need.
I know what you need to do is protect your quarterback who just had his ACL torn from being just killed all season. So that's what you do.
Absolutely. And just as far as like looking at positions they've attacked, corner makes a whole lot of sense in that second round. I think that's going to be like, if I do a 2-round mock, I'm going to put a cornerback going at the beginning of the second to the Bengals, because they signed 4 this year, and they signed a bunch last year too, so they know injuries. And they lost their number 1 to Washington. Mm-hmm. So yeah, corner is going to be a big need. They signed a bunch of guys that are they're journeymen at this point in their careers. Then they signed a tight end, Thaddeus Moss, to make that reunite with Joe Burrow. That just happened a couple days ago.
Randy Moss's kid.
Huh?
Randy Moss.
Yeah, sorry. I just assumed people knew that. No, absolutely. And then I think that's about it. Other than that's pretty staggered out for the most part. Yeah, I think corner and then offensive line are the 2 obvious spots. You good with it? All right, we'll move on to Cleveland Browns. 24th, I believe, pick. 26. Excuse me. 26. What was your first reaction while I pull this up?
First reaction, man, they have a pretty damn good team. I like them a lot. You
love their team, I know.
Stop. I love their team. I do love their team. What do you think they need to do then? I think they have the wide receiver looked at pretty good here. Yeah. Depending on what happens with the Odell Beckham stuff and the Jarvis Landry, I know it's aging. Running backs taken care of. I think they have an easy top 3 offensive line in the National Football League. I love their offensive line. How they were able to go from 1 year to just absolute trash and struggling to the next, they shorted up in every area. And if you look at PFF, it'll match it. Each one of them is top 10 respectively in their positions, with some of them riding at the 1, 2, and 3 spot.
Yeah,
they killed it there. I think it's linebacker.
I think it's best player available. I really do.
Yeah,
I don't really care. I think corner could be a need. Troy Hill, they signed for a 2-year deal. They really haven't made a lot of moves. Like you look at everything they've done, just not a whole lot of things that they've really done.
I don't think they needed to.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I don't know. I don't know where they would go. A linebacker, I think, makes sense. They signed a couple guys in free agency, re-signed and signed. Defensive line, I guess maybe you get the defensive lineman to go opposite of your number 1.
I think that's going to be taken care of when they get Clowney.
Oh, you think they're grabbing Clowney? Yeah, that's possible. Yeah. But even at this point, like, what is Clowney?
True, totally true.
I mean,
Clowney is overrated.
Yeah, absolutely. And Clowney waited forever to get signed.
Until we see Clowney come back and be something, even on what he could, no.
He just had injuries issues the past 2 years, and it's like I never like Clowney's never going to be that 11 sack a year guy. I get that, but he should still be 6 to 7 sacks, 5 to 7 sacks a year, and then just be a motherfucker in the run game, right? Like that's what he should be.
Dude had no drive, flat out.
Yeah, exactly. And I think injuries derailed his career. Like nobody else, honestly. So that's just is what it is. But yeah, I absolutely agree. I think it's the best player available. I wouldn't hate him for going wide receiver. I wouldn't hate him for going offensive line. I wouldn't hate him for going literally any position. I think they're fine everywhere. I really do. So it's like, go whatever's the best
team,
value.
Man.
They are. They're. It's a great roster. It's a great roster.
And if they're able to get it going in the second year of Stefanski, watch out.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Why am I always on the Cleveland Browns, bro?
Look,
I need to stop this love affair. No, don't. It's bad. It's bad. It's been since they got Baker.
Yeah.
It's bad. I need to stop. I need to save myself the trouble.
If they would have grabbed, and they never would have done this based on, pre-draft analysis or whatever, but if they would have drafted God, I've just lost his name. The Buffalo quarterback. I can't talk. It's too late. We played too many games of softball. If they drafted Josh Allen at number 1 that year instead of Baker,
fan. Yeah, I'm a Browns fan officially. I would have to do that. There's no way my body can handle that, especially with how disgruntled I am with the Minnesota Vikings lately.
Oh, that's funny.
It'd be fucking Dog Nation up in here, bro.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. That would be a wild one.
For that.
All right, we'll move on to the Cowboys. They picked number 10 overall. Look, that's an interesting pick, and we just mentioned the possibility of them trading up. Let's pretend they sit still for a little bit. Let's look at who they attacked. They attacked linebacker with a Keanu Neal they signed. They signed a Terrell Basham 1-year contract, whatever. A couple defensive lineman players, a couple corners. Other than that, just defense in general. They just attacked the defense. They signed 1 offensive lineman, 1 tackle. The rest are defenders. And obviously they re-signed Dak. they extended Dak. So what do you think?
I've heard a lot about Rashawn Slater taking a fall.
Yeah.
I think that the Cowboys could benefit from having him out there just because that offensive line is atrocious all of a sudden, and Zeke is no longer that top 5 running back that we thought Zeke was. Take away that offensive line, what do you have? A guy who tries a lot.
I will say, and I think
defend him. It's okay.
No, and I'm not even defending him. I just think, this is his 6th year in his career. I mean, running backs don't last that long anymore. I mean, we got it.
I still think Zeke is very talented.
Yeah, I think he's a talented guy.
For him, if
but it's like no running back should go that early. As good as Zeke was, the value of they fucking could still have one of the top corners in the league if they would have drafted Jalen Ramsey
They're able
over.
to run a Tony Pollard, and it's very successful.
Exactly.
It's not Zeke, but it is successful.
Yeah, it's just the value of drafting a running back. It's just a dumb move to draft a running back in the first, early in the first round. Shouldn't happen.
Rashawn Slater helps.
Rashawn Slater would be a great pick.
I think they're so offensive lineman, and then if I have to go a second one, it would be cornerback. They are going to get the second cornerback off the board.
Yeah, this is
possibly third because I think Denver is a strong one. We'll get to them in just a second too.
Yeah, you're right. That's another spot. I could also see this being, again, linebacker. There's really only one.
I think they're good with Smith and Van Der Esch. I love those linebackers.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm more thinking like outside linebacker, hand in the dirt type of guy. There's really nobody.
For a while, DeMarcus.
Kwity Paye has been talked about in that range, but other than that. It doesn't feel like their biggest need at all, but it is a little bit what they've attacked in free agency, but really not. It's kind of evened out. I don't see one position that's just screaming at me here just looking at the list. I absolutely agree. I think you nailed it there. I don't have anything to add. Do you want to go anywhere else with that?
Go to the next one with
Detroit Lions.
It's Denver.
Oh, did we pass Denver?
Yeah,
oh,
it's
my
Denver
bad.
right there.
Bro,
I already told you what I thought was going to happen with them cutting AJ Bouye. They were able to sign a Kyle Fuller from the Bears who gets some cornerback depth there, but they are hurting in that spot really, really bad.
Yeah.
I think that's where they're going to go. I think it's going to be cornerback for sure.
I could not agree more. I think
totally,
that makes a lot.
There's other options.
Well, I don't think they go I don't think they go running back. I don't think they go quarterback. I don't think they go running back either. I can't fucking talk. I'm sorry. We got to stop doing these spots so late.
I don't think we're doing
no, we're doing good. I look at what they did in free agency, and I mean they didn't make a ton of moves. They were a little bit hamstrung by cap this year. Defensive line they attacked a little bit. Corner and safety. I think you nailed it. I think corner makes the most sense. I know they signed a Ronald Darby. I'm sorry, 3-year, $30 million. That was a stupid signing. That was a stupid signing for a Ronald Darby who's been on 3 teams in the past 4 years. Kyle Fuller.
That's why people say no cornerback though, because they signed a Ronald Darby and they signed a Kyle Fuller.
And they probably won't because of the signings, but they should anyway. Because you could get a corner who could be locked down top 15 in the league in a couple years. I really believe that's the upside of a Surtain. That's the upside of a Caleb Farley. That's the upside of a your dude, JC Horn. Like I think that's the upside.
Georgia boy, I wasn't gonna say it.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll just roll my eyes. It's JC Horn.
I haven't watched the whole cornerback list, so I'm not speaking from experience on those guys. I'm basing on what I've heard.
Maybe a little bit of offensive line vibes if they're still riding out the whole Drew Lock fantasy. I hope it works for them. Denver last year. No, it's not. Listen,
I call it a fantasy.
I don't want to call it a fantasy, man. I like Drew Lock. I've seen the Flash. I have lost money on the Flash. Whenever he came back and beat the Chargers that one time, I was very upset that week. Why did he have to do it that week? Do it all the other fucking weeks you want. Don't do it when I actually bet money on the games, man. Chill out for a second. That's just how it goes. Yeah. Last year was a wash with the injuries and stuff. I think they're going to really need some Cortland Sutton vibes to come back. I'm going to be high on him once again, but, let's maybe. Yeah. Interior defensive linemen solely on the fact that they lost an aging Jarrell Casey, who I don't think affects much, but I know with a healthy Bradley Chubb and a healthy Von Miller, we might actually get to see the 2 outside guys go to town for once.
And they re-sign a Shelby Harris, and they sign a Shamar Steven, who's just a journeyman guy. I don't know that name, but yeah, that kind of fits our theory of look at what they've done in free agency recently. They've hit that interior defensive line position. Stands to reason they would hit that in the draft as well. Yeah, absolutely agree. The next team I kind of just want to gloss over, honestly, for a couple of reasons. One, this is a long pod already, but two, Detroit Lions. It's absolutely anywhere. We fully believe this is rebuild year. I think as long as it's not a skill position, I'm fine.
You covered it, man.
Yeah, I mean, really, like it doesn't really matter where they go, right? I mean,
it's going to be. I think with the Detroit Lions, it's so many different areas. I would just rather talk about it after the fact, just because we could spend almost an entire pod talking about the different options.
We might do that. We might do that.
I mean, we might do it eventually, but I don't want to do all these hypotheticals right now because, good God, Detroit, you're garbage.
Yeah, and it's not even an insult. Hey, things can turn around really fast in the NFL if you get the right guys behind you. In my opinion, you trade back if you can. I think they would be a prime team to be in that conversation of they're picking 7. If a team like the Patriots wants to move up from 15, take their money.
Listen, I'm not bullshitting and saying this too. I think that could happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that could happen.
Pick up your assets.
Yeah, exactly. So it would not shock me at all. And really, we both agree on this. I'm just going to say this last thing before we move on. When you are a rebuilding team, the studies show everything about rebuilds every single year. You build from the trenches out, all right? Offensive, defensive line, build those teams out, and then you move on from there. There's no such thing as a bad team with a good offensive line. It just doesn't happen. Like good, at the very least, you'll be pretty okay to good. So you build those parts of your teams, and then you add in your wide receivers and your running backs and all those other sexier positions when you already have a good team around you. So that's always been my take there. So that's where I would think they would do. Green Bay Packers. I mean, fuck it, draft another quarterback. I guess I don't fucking know.
Yeah, piss off Aaron Rodgers so he wins another MVP. We know what they need to do. It's wide receiver. We've known what they need to do as wide receiver. Offensive line, they need to shore up in some areas just because they were really injury prone late on in the year in that, especially at the guard and center position. It's one of those things that could really hurt them later on. Other than that, maybe a linebacker,
cornerback, maybe. I mean, yeah. The thing
I'm
is,
scared that they get the Joker.
He's not going to fall that far. I just
Thank
could not.
God.
Because Packers pick, let me just pull it up.
27, 28.
Yeah, Packers pick 29. Yeah, because they were in the conference championship. Packers pick 29. There's no way Joker falls past Cleveland or Baltimore.
Good.
I would think. Like, there's just no fucking way. Maybe they trade up and get him. I would also say, look, this is a team that just all they did was re-sign their own guys. Mm-hmm. You have no outside signings this year, and really that's just been. I think it's a bad way to build.
That's what the Packers do.
They did like 1 year where they went out and actually signed guys, but other than that, they just don't do it. We'll see what happens, man. There's nothing to glean from our little system of looking at what they're doing in free agency. There's nothing to glean from free agency this year. We know what they need. I absolutely agree. You hit it, so I'm good there if you are.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the Houston Texans. Hey, this is another team. I feel the exact same way about Houston Texans as I do about the Lions. And they don't have a first-round pick.
That's the thing with the Texans. I was going to say on Detroit, like I would be excited as a Lions fan just because you don't have that expectation. You have nothing going for you right now, and you have the capital. Texans fans, I've been harping on y'all for a while, bro, and I swear to God, I have y'all shots coming soon. I have to make a special video for it. I will do it for y'all. Y'all showing up. You did great. Now let's get to your draft. It's not going to be pretty. They pick in the third.
Yeah,
because they don't have a second.
You got a third, a fourth, and 2/5.
So with that third, fourth, and 2/5, oh my gosh, they
might have some more deeper picks, but those were the top guys. Yeah. Okay. Then they have 3 6th and a 7th. Whoop-de-doo. I mean,
man.
Yeah. You have no
survive this year.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
I don't even know what you can realistically mock at that point for the Texans who need so much stuff. They need, there are just so many different things, man.
That sucks.
What do you do? I'm just thinking.
That's terrible.
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking what do you do?
I don't know. There's no sure thing. Third, fourth round, like maybe you hit on something. I think you just go best player available, and you try and ride out this year. You don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun.
Positionally based with the way that the Texans are right now.
Yeah.
They have Laramie Tunsil. They have Titus Howard.
They might have Deshaun Watson.
They have a decent center. I said good last time, and I got roasted for that. He's not good.
Well, no, they lost Zach Martin. They lost in free agency, so they don't have a good center anymore.
Okay, so someone else has a decent, not good, a decent center. Sorry, y'all corrected me. I don't think. It's always safe to grab a few wide receivers late. It always is.
Yeah.
But like you said, yeah, with the shoulder shrug, it's like, why?
Best player available. I don't have it. There's no good answer there. And I feel bad because Texans fans just, they've gone through the ringer this offseason. And really, it's like they've got no buzz in draft season because everyone wants to talk about the teams that are in the first round and they don't even have a second round pick. So like they're not even involved in the 2-round mocks. They get to look at 3-round mocks and who the fuck knows? You know what I mean?
Man, in a 3-round mock, all you can do is target a position, but when you're a team like the Texans, it's all the positions.
Yeah, almost every position on the D-line, or defense in general, really. Yeah, that's tough. They have a pretty good linebacker, the guy out of Vanderbilt. But other than that, like I don't look at anybody on their defense that I'm excited about. All right, we'll move on. Let's just we gotta
that was sad.
Push ahead. I know. I feel bad now.
I'm sorry, Texans fans.
Indianapolis Colts.
We owe them better.
We do. Hey, you got to take some shots for them, man. Indianapolis Colts. What's your raw reaction there?
Let's see this Carson Wentz thing head off, man. I'm thinking on the defensive side of the ball because that's where it's got to be, right?
Yeah,
it's got to be defensive side. They have one of the best offensive lines you can imagine. So
they do need they actually based on the offensive line.
Costanzo retired. Shocking.
And if you look at their signings, they signed Julian Davenport. That's the forgotten name in the Tunsil trade. He was the terrible tackle for the
terrible tackle.
He was a terrible tackle for Texans. They moved on from him, traded him to the Dolphins, and returned. Obviously all those picks, and Tunsil was a part of that trade. But he was the guy that went back to the Dolphins and tried to start for a year. He signed a 1-year deal there. They signed a Sam Tybee to a 1-year deal. They signed a guard, so they're worried about that tackle position. It would not surprise. I think tackle's the move in the first round.
Yeah, the Costanzo thing blanked on my mind. That's where they should go for sure.
Absolutely,
just to shore that up.
Yeah, and other than that, all they did was really re-sign. They re-signed a Marlon Mack, T.Y. Hilton, Xavier Rhodes. I mean, other than obviously they traded for Carson Wentz. They got their quarterback shored up. Hopefully, we'll see what happens there.
Safety.
Possibly safety.
They lost Malik Hooker.
They did lose Malik Hooker. You're absolutely right. So yeah, I mean that's the move. I feel like
not a bad one.
Not a bad one. Go get a tackle. Hey, it's a good year to need a tackle. It really is. You can find a very good starting tackle at that 21 spot.
Well. I even think in the second round there's going to be some guys that you can put in there.
Probably not where they're drafting.
Plug and play. Maybe not where they're
because they're drafting 21. So what is that? That's in the late 50s in the first round, or early 50s in the second round. So yeah, you're probably not getting an elite tackle there. But at 21, I think there's
elite's the wrong word.
You might not even be getting. I don't know. In the second round, you still might be getting a starting tackle. In the first round, you're getting a guy who's plug and play day one. I feel like still. So that's how deep this class is. You can't say that usually. In the 20s, you're not guaranteed shit the tackle position usually. Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a team we're going to gloss over because we know where they're going. Number one. Right? I mean, it's Trevor.
Let's look at their other one pick.
Okay. Oh, good call. Good save.
We know it's Trevor.
Yeah. What about 25?
25 though.
That's a good one. Let me pull up where they. Let me see.
If James Robinson wouldn't have hit like James Robinson hit, it's Travis Etienne, and I'd fight anyone on it. I'd fight to the death on it.
If James Robinson doesn't hit, it's Travis. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think
if he wouldn't have been such a gem that they found that I think they would be okay with running, I think Etienne and that chemistry, man, would pop.
Etienne at 33 would have been awesome. It still wouldn't shock me if it happened. I like a wide receiver. Like they definitely need a guy to be opposite of your God. I'm blanking on everybody's name today. I'm so sorry, guys. DJ Shark. They signed a Jamal Agnew, Philip Dorsett, and Marvin Jones to all mostly short-year deals.
I think the Marvin Jones one could do it for me. I like Marvin Jones.
But all those guys could be your wide receiver 3, and you're happy. That could fill out your roster. You could still draft a guy in the second round to be like. They could do literally exactly what the
like Visca.
Oh, they did grab Visca last year. You're right.
I think with some of the pieces.
You're right.
It sounds like they have such a good hearty committee at wide receiver right now with a Marvin Jones, with a Philip Dorsett, Jamal Agnew. I think all those are serviceable names. You have a LaVisca. You have a DJ Shark.
I concede. You are absolutely right.
So now you've been asking where they go. I don't know. Cornerback, safety.
Looking at who they signed a bunch of D tackles, signed a bunch of DNs. D line makes a lot of sense. D tackle makes a lot of sense. They signed a bunch of corners. Sidney Jones, Shaquille Griffin, because they signed some high quality guys. I doubt they go there in the first round or two, but it wouldn't shock me.
And with
three
C.J.
safeties.
Henderson being such a hit,
three safeties. They spent some money on safety positions, so probably not going to be safety. I don't know. I don't know. I think D tackle, safety, or D tackle, corner, safety in like the mid rounds, and D end are all possibilities.
Protect Trevor Lawrence too and get one of those good interior offensive linemen.
Oh yeah, offensive line's always a conversation for guys for this teams like these, but it absolutely could happen. They did franchise tag the Cam Robinson. They Terms of the Tyler Shatley. I don't know anything about him, so I don't know who he is. It's a guard they signed.
So do you think that there is a way that one of the top 3 wide receivers falls
to 25?
No, that's a safe no. Then
no.
We didn't see one of them get taken till 11 last year though. The last one got taken at 18. I mean, there's.
Hey, I absolutely look. I believe that a wide receiver falls. I don't think someone falls to 25. I think I look. Let's go back here. I could realistically see honestly, Arizona, Vegas. I could see Miami at 18 if they didn't draft a wide receiver at 6, looking at staring a wide receiver in their face. Yeah, they could be staring one of the Bama wide receivers in their face at 18. I'm not saying it will happen. That's definitely not where they both deserve. All the top 3 wide receivers deserve to go top 15, but one of them could fall out, and it wouldn't shock me.
One of them fell out last year in CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, exactly. One pick ahead of the Dolphins, and I wanted the Dolphins to grab him. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about where they go. Other than that, I mean, Jacksonville, I would say protect quarterback. Maybe help out, maybe a linebacker.
Bro, I'm sorry, this is way off topic. It's kind of bullshit. The Dolphins won 10 games, and all the teams they're drafting next to, 8 wins, 7 wins, 8 wins. Those 2 teams went to the playoffs. We won 10 wins.
7 and 8 did, yeah.
Fucking picking 18, missed the fucking playoffs. You
should be happy
with 10
that you
wins.
got that, though. You should be happy.
Sucks, though.
You got 10 wins, and you still have a pretty solid pick.
Yeah, I guess.
It could be worse.
I mean, we got the 3rd pick in the draft and won 10 games, so I can't be that mad.
It could be the Vikings, though. We constantly pick in the middle, and then we constantly miss.
Hey, I've been that for a long time.
I would rather be a Detroit fan than a Vikings fan right now.
Wow. That's bold. I don't know if I would say that.
I'm disgruntled.
I'm
so disgruntled. Why not? Detroit, I can at least tell myself that I know we're going to be ass instead of supposed to be good but still be ass.
I get it, bro.
Go to the next team. Go to the next team. The alphabet. The alphabet's coming. The M's are coming. We'll get to that.
Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs. It's linemen, right? I mean, it's obviously linemen.
Yeah. And I was so shocked with the Fisher move and the Schwartz move. I don't know what they were doing in saying that, man.
They said fuck them. I think they did.
They went out and paid a joke. But that's why they lost the Super Bowl.
They were hurt, though.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So you think you could step up and acknowledge, damn, we have those 2 guys there. I think we're winning that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe not winning that Super Bowl.
I think they cut him because they knew they were going to go pay a Joe Thuney. I think they knew they were going to go get a Kyle Long.
Kyle Long back, pay your interior.
Yeah.
Sacrifice the exterior?
Everything they did, everything. Yeah, look, I get it's weird, but at the end of the day, I think I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm not gonna explain. I'm not gonna explain myself to you.
It's hard, man. It's a weird one.
I get that. I think it's offensive line at 30, and they might even trade up to get one. Everything they've done in free agency has been about attacking the offensive line. That's what the Chiefs do. They attack a position until it's fixed. Maybe wide receiver. They did lose a Sammy Watkins. They re-signed Demarcus Robinson again, another 1-year deal, two in a row. They signed a Tajay Sharp, old Titans guy who's been around the league.
So wide receiver first round possibility.
Definitely first round possibility. You know the guy that I've always mocked there. You know the guy that I love. Kadarius at 31 makes a lot of sense to me, and I think he could be there. I think you could go ahead of there. It would make a lot of sense to me. That's where I think a Rondo Moore could go. If Rondo Moore is going to go in the first round, to me, that's where he would go. I don't think Rondo Moore goes in the first round, to be very clear. I don't have him anywhere close to top 32. He's close, but he's not first rounder.
I'd bet say
Yeah, he's close. You're right. I'm being a little
He's in your top 50 players.
Yes, I'm just being hyperbolic.
That's fine. You can be hyperbolic all you need to be right there. From 32 to 50.
All right, we'll move on. We know what the Chiefs are going to do. Las Vegas Raiders, man, you talk about a weird move in free agency. Let's talk about a team. I don't think I've ever seen a team just say, fuck my entire offensive line. We want a new one. They are the team that got Nick Martin, so they replaced their top 3 corner with a Nick Martin who's good, who's serviceable. Center. Rodney Hudson. They traded Rodney Hudson is 7th,
a tremendous asset
for a
too, man.
3rd round pick to Arizona. Rodney Hudson, I genuinely believe is a top 5 center in this league. Still, Nick Martin. AB Top. I'm not gonna pretend to know what Nick Martin is. He has a really good last name. His brother is one of the best guards of all time. But beyond that, I don't fucking know.
Gabe Jackson was a starting guard traded away. They cut Richie Incognito. Incognito was old. Incognito had a lot. Incognito was doing really good though for what he was in that role there at Vegas. Rodney Hudson, serviceable. Beyond his time, he's amazing.
Did not realize that they were the team that signed Kenyon Drake. I did not know that. I'm just looking at the signings they've done. There's no like specific position that screams out to me. They moved on from Trent Brown and Rodney Hudson, so offensive line is like automatically the big need for them. They lost their franchise tackle. Yeah, I mean they needed some. They needed the money more. You go back and ask
Russell Wilson to name those teams that he goes to again. They're not one of them because he knows they just got rid of that line.
Just got rid of one of the best players.
They got rid of the whole line.
I agree. I'm not arguing with you. Yeah, that was a weird move. I don't get it. I don't have any explanation for it. Obviously it was a cap thing, but really even that didn't really explain it to me. Like they could have moved. They could have done something else. They re-signed Richie Incognito for the millionth time. You see a couple D linemen, but I mean they've needed D line for a couple years. We've known that, right? So trenches. I think at the end of the day, trenches.
There is a chance that they take a wide receiver.
I mean, yeah. I don't think so.
I think they could get one of the last big ones.
You think the Raiders? See, because I passed up the Raiders when I was talking about one of the Bama boys falling.
Raiders
I thought the Miami Dolphins. Raiders, yeah, they could grab Waddle. Man, can you imagine Henry and Waddle? That'd be interesting.
Can you imagine them playing on the same team?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
If they did that in college, that would be incredible.
They fucking love Bama boys, too. I mean, they got a lot of skill position Bama guys. I really think they did their rebuild wrong. I really do. They never should have drafted a running back in the first round that year. They had 3 picks. They really overdrafted the D lineman. They drafted, I think, the safety out of Ole Miss, who's been very good, but he's just been hurt the past 2 years. I'm just looking at they had
Carl Joseph. I don't know where he's out of, but.
No, it was I can't remember the safety now. I can't remember names right now. I'm so sorry. They drafted the Bama running back at like 22.
I saw something about grading overall quality of first round picks and how efficient they are and how well they've done.
No, it can't be up there.
They're 32.
Yeah, they missed. It sucks because it's like
they swing and miss.
Yeah, they swung and missed hard. And they drafted Farrell that was the year that the draft was in Nashville and we were there. Farrell at 4, which is just like a huge reach. And I love the argument. It's like, maybe if what's his name would have been in the media, he would have been pushing his name more, and Farrell would have ended up being like talked about in the top 5, and wouldn't have been as much of a surprise move. But because nobody knew we were talking about it, like nobody was talking about him as that player. Either way, though, he was never a guy that should have been gone fourth in the draft. He was never a top 5 pick. Yeah, it was just weird. All right, well, we're going back into draft history and shit.
Yeah, Vegas misses. That's
Vegas misses. The casinos don't, but the team sure as fuck does. Yeah. All right, we'll move on to the Los Angeles Rams. They don't have a first round pick.
You skipped one.
No, I didn't.
You skipped the other Los Angeles team.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry,
guys.
Look at them. Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, gotta do the Chargers.
I was like, I didn't skip the Los Angeles
team.
All right, I'll let you go first. Let me pull up what we need here. Los Angeles drafts
Chargers.
13.
I think they would be I hate saying the same name over and over and over again, but I think they would be a good spot for Rashawn Slater if he's able to fall right there. I think they would be more than happy with that. Being able to see where Herbert is able to take this team and propel them forward. I've also heard a lot of wide receiver buzz behind this team too, and I don't think that's a spot that they need. I'm just saying what I've heard is wide receiver.
Yeah, corner's another team. Yeah, secondary.
Yes.
They signed a bunch of DBs and corners to small contracts, so that stands to reason that they're looking for depth there.
They always try to find the weird interior defensive lineman.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit, doesn't hit. It hasn't hit in a while, I don't think.
Yeah,
but I don't know. They got Bosa. They were able to retain
Melvin Ingram,
and then they also still have Linval Joseph, who was very serviceable from the Vikings for many years.
Yeah,
over there. So that's not a bad D line.
Yeah, not at all. Signed to Jared Cook, so maybe tight ends in play because I don't consider him a big signing. $6 million for Jared
Cook's
Cook.
A very good tight end.
Is he still? No, I don't think he still is. I'm
Jared
sorry.
Cook's a good tight end.
He's old.
Run him.
Nah.
You just want to put him down after
bro,
30.
he's over 30. He's dead to me.
He's over 34.
He's old, bro. I'm sorry. He's not. $6 million for Jared Cook's too much, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I think you hit it. Now can we talk about the Rams?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
All right. Excuse me, guys. All right, Rams traded Jared Goff, traded all their first-round picks for years now. Where's their next pick? Tell me what you think they should do while I look up their first pick, because I don't know what it is.
What the Rams should do.
What the Rams should do
is win the Super Bowl with Matt Stafford is what they should do. Do you not think so?
I absolutely believe that's
I think they are totally capable of getting back to where they were whenever it comes to that.
They have They have the 57th pick in the draft. 88th, 103.
I'm thinking about where they should go off the top of my head. I love their defense. I could see some linebackers. I would go linebacker heavy.
Yeah, other than the Matthew Stafford move, they really havened done a lot. And you're right, linebacker's not a position I think they're great with. I love
their wide receiver position. They did lose one of the tight ends. Which one was it? Did they lose a Gerald Everett?
They did lose Gerald Everett. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so they lost Gerald Everett. Okay,
so they lost Everett. I kind of liked him too. I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, they have not made a lot of moves in free agency, so we have almost nothing to work with here. They signed Leonard Boyd.
I don't think they have many places they can go.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean,
they're strapped for cash.
Strapped for cash. Their team is fucking awesome. They just need to stay healthy and win the Super Bowl. Honestly, that's all they got to do. All right, moving on to the Miami Dolphins. My team. Look, what did they do? They signed a lot of tertiary players. They signed a Will Fuller. That was one of their bigger signings. They cut a Kyle Van Noy because he didn't live up to the contract. They traded for Isaiah Wilson and kept him for 3 days before they cut him. The tackle that was drafted in the first round from the Titans last year. They signed what?
Bust.
Oh, dude, major bust. They signed a backup quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. They signed a backup corner. They didn't really hit one position super hard. Really kind of hard to see what the team is thinking based on the free agencies. What do you think they need? Drafting at 6 and 18.
Man, I'm gonna give you your team pretty much, and I will take your judgment on that real quick for me. Then I would say Jamar Chase at 6 because I think you can't miss right there.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be perfect, and I don't know, man. Give me.
Yeah, I'll give you what I want in the first round.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, it's either Jamar Chase or.
You want the Miami boy? You want Jalen Phillips?
Huh?
You want Jalen Phillips with your second one?
Yeah, Jalen Phillips or Joker at 18. Those are the two picks. I want to go defensive.
I'll be jealous if you get Joker.
I mean, Joker or Jalen Phillips, I think is a huge hit to me.
I want Joker at 14 for the Vikings.
Yeah, I see that, but I want him at 18 for the Dolphins. So I called it. We talked about the Dolphins first.
Damn.
Leave me alone. No, and then at number 6, I'm fine with Sewell or Jamar Chase. I don't want Pitts. I'll be honest with you. I love Pitts. I think he's a great prospect.
What did you just say?
I don't want my team to draft a tight end in the first in the top 10. I just don't believe in it. I don't.
Mike Gesicki is a very good tight end.
Mike Gesicki's a good tight end. I could understand why
you would say that, but
I'm sorry. I keep seeing it, and the reason, and I don't have the strong feeling. Like, this isn't like I hate the idea of it, but like every time I see the mock, I'm like, meh. Like every time I see the mock, I don't get excited. So like over time, I've just realized,
look at this guy.
I don't really want it.
Look at this guy. You can go back and look at some of our videos and see how depressing the Dolphins were at the time. We've been doing this for a hot minute now.
Yeah.
And now you are just so fucking complacent. You're gonna sit here and say you don't want a Kyle Pitts.
I'm basing this on, you know how I am. I'm basing this off of draft value. The value to me isn't there for a tight end. I don't care how good he is in the top 5, top 6.
I am distraught.
Yeah, I don't believe in it.
Kyle Pitts would be a fucking home run pick no matter where he goes.
Yeah, look, he would. I'm not gonna be mad if we take that Kyle Pitts. I'm not gonna be mad at all. But I just would prefer to. Let me rephrase this.
No.
Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it this way. I would, of the top 3, I would much rather have a Jamar Chase over Kyle Pitts, and I would much rather have a Penei Sewell over Kyle Pitts. One of those two guys is going to be there. One of those two guys is going to be there. So for that reason, if we pass on one of those two guys to take a Kyle Pitts, I will be upset. I'll put it that way. Now, if for some reason, it goes Penei Sewell at 4 and Jamar Chase at 5, and at 6 we're looking at Kyle Pitts, I'm fine with that. That's totally fine. Then it's like, man, we missed on the two guys I really wanted. Now let's see what we do.
I trust your judgment as a Dolphins fan. I'll say that.
I've also like looked at my team and seen us like throw to our fourth string tight end enough times to know that we don't value the tight end position as like a highly touted position. We just don't. We throw tight ends in there. Like we literally utilize our fourth string tight end in the.
I think Pitts is going to line up at slot a lot more than.
I do too. I really do. He would be a wide receiver essentially. He would be a big slot wide receiver. Just be fucking ridiculous in the red zone. The more I think about it, the more I love it. Like I just thought about it like for a second, like shit, that would be fucking awesome. All right, we'll move on.
Give me my team.
Yeah, well, we're gonna talk about your team next. Yeah, we're gonna talk Minnesota Vikings.
My team, no money. We cut a lot of people. We cut a serviceable tackle in Riley Reef. Didn't understand that move. I'm trying to think. We signed a Patrick Peterson. We were able to free up some money. I did like that move. I think that he is a good cornerback. It is shown in a Mike Zimmer-led defense. You have to have a good secondary if you're going to be able to compete. Hopefully, Danielle Hunter is able to come back healthy. You know, we got Dalvin Tomlinson who's coming back from the opt-out. We were able to bring back a Mackenzie Alexander after he left last year for the Cincinnati Bengals. Listen, it's not good on a lot of different levels, but I do think that we still have that same core team with a good offense, and if we can shore up this defense, this is going to be the first time that I probably say go defense in the draft.
So you don't want an offensive lineman?
See, trust me.
It's either O-line or corner.
I'm totally fine with the offensive line. I can see why it would be corner. If we get J.C. Horn, I will not complain one bit about anything.
Would you rather J.C. Horn's your number one? You'd rather have him over Caleb Farley?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
J.C. Horn is my number one cornerback. I love how physical he is. I know Mike Zimmer would slam the button on him too because I know the type of cornerback that Mike Zimmer likes, and that's the move there. Offensive lineman too, though.
Yeah, fair enough. I think you nailed it. Anywhere else you want to go? What about later rounds? Just to think about it for a second.
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver. Need a wide receiver 3, man. And
Bad.
And Thielen is getting up there. I mean,
listen, there's a chance that we could go wide receiver in the first.
I'd be surprised.
I wouldn't.
Really?
I wouldn't be that surprised.
They just drafted a wide receiver last year in the first year. You know, wide receiver 2 years in a row.
Hey, my team has surprised me time and time again.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Do a good surprise for once.
Yeah, I get that.
I'd be okay with it.
Who's your dream spot at 14?
Oh God, if there was a way at 14, realistically, that's one. I mean,
you can't have any of the top 5 names off the board, but other than that, dream spot. Top 4 names off the board.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying dream spot.
Wide receiver was?
No, just dream.
Oh,
dream
I was
player.
like, the hell you mean we're not getting a top 5? Like we would get number 2 or 3 at that point.
You're at 14, so I'm saying like obviously.
Rashawn Slater.
Rashawn Slater could
Joker
be there. Yeah, Joker.
Would be incredible talent for me.
Okay.
Parsons, if he takes the fall.
See, I could see Parsons taking the fall. He could be there.
If Parsons takes the fall, I would do that. And Kwity Paye.
Yeah, I think all those guys realistically could be there. So that's what I was asking.
I do not want Gregory Rousseau.
No.
Quit mocking it.
Quit.
Stop. Pisses me off.
I love that. I love that. That's so much about the mock season. It's like every single fan has consistently looked at mocks where one guy that they don't like goes to their team. And they're like,
damn it, let me refresh page.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. All right, we'll move on. Where are we?
How many teams we got?
We got Patriots and then Saints, Giants, Jets, Eagles. God damn, we are not even close to the end. Oh, yeah, we kind of are. We are. We'll bust through this here. All right, Patriots here. They signed everybody. They literally signed everybody. I'm going to look for, while you're just talking it out here for a second, let me look up some of their tertiary players they drafted here.
Patriots made a lot of offseason moves. This is the first time that we've seen Bill Belichick really flex that pocketbook. I think he spent more money this year than he has in 10 seasons combined at the Patriots, just because they've had they've had that same system running back and forth for so many years, time and time again, just relying on comp picks, making it happen. Congrats to Julian Edelman on retirement, by the way. I hope it's good for you. I do not think you're a Hall of Famer.
No.
That one for you.
I cannot believe that's an argument.
Hines Ward hasn't even gotten on the ballot yet. He's not better than Hines Ward. Hines Ward was a Super Bowl MVP just like Edelman was. I'm sorry. Move on from that one real quick. We'll get some flack for that one, though.
I fucking don't care. I don't care. Yeah, there's no world where Julian Edelman is a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I'm sorry, he's not.
I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
Quarterback is where people will go in the first round for the Patriots.
Yeah, quarterback makes sense.
Yep.
Based on some of the players they've drafted, like in the second, third round of free agency, D line, like they just took shots on that D line and linebacker core at every level. They drafted some big names like Matt Judon, a Kyle Van Noy, but they also grabbed like a Ray Raekwon McMillan. They also grabbed a Devin Godshaw, a Lawrence Guy, names like that aren't, well, Lawrence Guy's kind of a big name, but in 4 years, $11 million, it's not really a great contract. Montavious Adams. So I feel like D tackle would make sense. Probably not first round.
I think this
probably
is a team that could rise up and slap some people, though, man. I think they kind of did pretty good with the offensive line, too. Getting back Trent Brown. We saw the best version that we've ever seen of Trent Brown. The reason he got paid the number 1 overall tackle in the league.
That was with the Patriots.
Because of what happened with the Patriots and their system.
And they grabbed Trent Brown again,
then they were able to get David Andrews as well. I think that's a really good one. Ted Karras. They have some depth there at that position. They could easily make the board.
It's so crazy because think about it. They lose Trent Brown. The Raiders sign him to a ridiculous contract, right? The Patriots then get a comp pick for that big contract that they signed, and then they trade.
They're picking with this year.
That they're picking with this year. Then they trade a 5th round pick for him and a 7th round pick, and the comp pick I believe should have probably been a third.
The comp's a third.
The comp should have been a third. Yeah, I'm not 100%. Yeah, I think it was.
I know it's a third.
You know it's a third.
The money value
Confirmed.
that it was, it's a third.
Just the way they make moves is amazing. It's just so fucking
chess
smart.
and checkers, bro.
I swear to God.
And they need to go wide receiver.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of mocks where they go wide receiver in the first. I think it's solely because of the quarterback position.
Yeah, I don't know where they go, and they've drafted really poorly the past couple of years, so I don't have a good feel. To me, it's quarterback. To me, like beyond that, it feels like, first of all, we're not used to them drafting in the top 20, like just the first year in a long time where they've had to do that. So like I don't have a good feel for like what they do at the top of drafts because I always see them late round of drafts and they always grab a guy that I'm never expecting them to take. Are they going to do that at pick 15? Probably not, right? Like you would think they go maybe more true blood, tried and true type of pick. I don't know. I have no feel for it. I think they attacked every position pretty well, pretty evenly.
If they stick with Cam, though, I think they need another wide receiver. I know they need more wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, just think about names that could be there.
Lance right there.
Yeah, I've just pulled up a mock draft just to see like the names that are going around there just in the mock. You see Kwity Paye, you see Micah Parsons at 17. Wow, that's a fall. Caleb Farley, J.C. Horn. If they're going to go corner, how much they value corner in that scheme, so it wouldn't shock me. Jalen Phillips could be there, but although I don't think that's their fit really. Any one of those guys, like it would make none of those guys would shock me if they went there. Love this mock, by the way. This mock has Jamar Chase at 6 and Jalen Phillips at 16. That they're at 18. That's my pick.
At 14.
That's my Dolphin. Hell yeah, that works out for everybody. I like that mock. All right, moving on here to the New Orleans Saints. This is a team that was really strapped for cash, like majorly strapped for cash. They still are, but they were able to make enough moves to where it's like they moved some pieces around. We're gonna pull it up. They were able to they were able to franchise a Marcus Williams, so they don't have a need at safety. They still probably need another corner, but they signed a 1-year deal with PJ Williams, so corner makes sense. But like they attack,
FSU boy.
He was a guy who was, I think, drafted kind of early that I never fucking understood. Like he showed nothing in college to see he should be a top 3-round wide receiver or corner, and he's been a bust the whole time. Sorry, we're going way off topic. I don't think there's nothing from free agency there's anything to glean. What do you think at pick number? I don't remember what pick they have. I'm pulling it up right now. 28. Yeah, 28. What do you think?
Wide receiver buzz. Linebacker buzz because they lost to Alex Anzalone, who not a great linebacker by any means, but I'm just saying he was a starter for them.
Yeah.
DeMario Davis is still there though; they're doing good.
Yeah, and you look at they grabbed a Matt Bond last year, so that's a position. Zach Bond, excuse me. That's a position that they have targeted recently in drafts, so that's another factor to look into.
I have a theory.
Okay.
That 2 tight ends go in the first round.
Okay.
And it doesn't get said much. I think it is Pat Freiermuth, baby Gronk.
Yeah.
I think that they could listen at 28. That is not bad.
I'm not as high on him as you are.
You're that you hate the man.
I don't value him the way you do. I don't have to hate him.
I think he is a consensus top 50 player.
Is he?
I think
is he? I don't know if I think I could name 50 guys that I like more than him. Yeah, I really do. He's not my top. I don't think he's my top 3 tight ends.
What?
I really don't.
There's no way. I'll shit a brick.
He's 53 on this big board that I just pulled up.
Okay.
Okay.
So not consensus. Wrong word. That is damn close.
That is damn close. That's a lot closer than I thought it would be. You're absolutely right.
You're high. You are high if you think that Pat Fryermuth, I didn't think at an hour 8 in, we would have this much discrepancy amongst each other.
I want to hear it.
I expect us to be better put together than
Let's
this.
hear it.
I can't believe this
Why?
right now. Okay, top 50, too much. Top 50, too much, here and there. My God, he is a good tight end. I don't know why he fell so much, man. You're killing me. I know we probably have 4 motherfuckers listening right now at this point. I'm happy for you. God, roast me too, why don't you? Pat Fryermuth is going to be a weapon in this league. No, he's not as good as Cole Kmet last year, so I guess Cole Kmet went in the second round. I'm wrong. But it's okay. The Saints need tight end.
Yeah.
He's good.
Brevin Jordan, tight end.
Stop.
I like him more. I do.
Good God.
I like him. I think he's a better tight end prospect. I really do.
You killed me, man. Okay, let's get off of the tight end because all in all, it really was just a joke just to plug my love for Pat Fryermuth in. I just didn't think I would get backlash as much as I did.
I have nothing else to say. I'm good. I enjoyed talking about the New Orleans Saints. You want to go anywhere else with that?
You're done.
I'm done
with that.
I don't know. I think it's the best player built. I think you hit it with linebacker. I think linebacker is the move for me, or offensive line, or corner. Like to me, those are the spots.
Moving on.
Certainly shouldn't be Pat.
You can't say his fucking last. Baby Gronk.
Baby Gronk.
I hate you.
New York Giants. Take it away, buddy.
If they take him, oh my.
Oh, I'll never hear the end of it.
His body blows for days in this bitch.
We're going to be doing the
what team are we on right now? The
Giants, yeah.
Giants crushed it in free agency. I absolutely love what they did. They overpaid an Adoree Jackson a lot, but they got a guy at corner that they really didn't have in the speed factor. Kenny Golladay was the big move for me, though. I think them getting Kenny Golladay. Listen, I saw a thing on Instagram the other day that Daniel Jones did a private offensive meeting. He got Kenny Golladay. He got Darius Slayton. He got Saquon. He got a few of the offensive line. Evan Ingram, all those boys to go out, John Ross included, all of those boys to fly out to Arizona where he was training, and they are getting some work in the offseason. This is going to be a good team.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. I look at some of the positions they attacked in like the second, third round. Defensive line, defensive end. I think that's the move. If there's a defensive end, I think Kwity Paye makes a lot of sense. I've seen that mocked a ton.
We gotta be saying Kwity though. We gotta have others.
At 11. At 11, to me, I like Phillips there more. Jalen Phillips. I mean, I get it. We're talking about first rounders, so we mentioned a lot of the same names. I'm sorry, but that's just how it goes a little bit. Jalen Phillips to me at 11 makes a lot of sense. Joker, does that fit their scheme? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what their scheme is defensively.
Cornerback for me. I think they're going to go
Surtain. Yeah, that would make sense, but they already signed Adoree Jackson. They gave him a big contract. You think it could definitely be Surtain. Yeah, they need more than one for sure. Yeah, I like that. I agree. I think Surtain makes a lot of sense. We'll move on to the Jets.
2 picks,
and to me, it could be anywhere, right? Like, we know what the number 2 is pick, right? Is like Trevor, or it's Wilson. We're good. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
Do you hate it? What do you mean?
No ifs, ands, or buts.
You have a take.
No, I don't.
You have a take, right? No, let's hear it, bro.
I don't have a take.
You have a take.
I do not have a take.
Give me your take. Give me your take.
I do not have a take. Justin Fields is slowly becoming close to Zach Wilson in my head.
What? How?
They're gonna take Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is better.
But how is it? I feel like when we did our quarterback podcast, he wasn't close in your head.
I've just been watching more Justin Fields. I've been seeing a lot more stuff about him coming out recently, and I don't understand why he's downtrending so much as he should be up. The 49ers are going out to see the private workout. The 49ers are doing their due diligence. They picked number 3. That's why we splitting hairs at 2 to 3.
Oh, I would be shocked if he goes 3.
I would be surprised too, just because it's the Mac Jones thing. But we also agree on the fact that Mac Jones should not go 3.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of at with it.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's Zach Wilson.
Yeah, okay. Hey, fair enough.
Talk about the second one.
Sorry, we're going off on Fields. I think you're just a lot higher on Fields than I am.
Yeah.
All right, second one. Where did they pick in the second? The 23rd pick. Man, that's just prime real estate anywhere, man. I have no idea where that could be.
As many spots as they need.
They need everybody. Yeah, I was gonna say this is another team where it's like you're not. Sorry, another burp. You're not really able to glean a whole lot from what they did in free agency. They could go anywhere.
I like the Elijah Vera Tucker pick.
Yeah. Just looking at this mock here, that makes a lot of sense. The offensive line, I could see. I could see them really, really liking a running back and really thinking, like a Travis Etienne would be the style of running back they could go. I just think at 23, I would hate them to go running back in the first round when they're a rebuild team. But that wouldn't shock me. Xavier Collins, and any one of those names, like second round, into the first round
Jenkins,
names.
the tackle out of Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be offensive line, but Vera Tucker for me just because he's interior.
Yeah,
because you hit with Becton. Yeah. Becton's a hit.
Yeah, absolutely agree. All right, Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles. I have a strong take here. They didn't do a lot in free agency. Again, another team, like I said, hey, it's not going to work for every single team. But I feel like we got enough teams here where we've already talked about. It's like, man, this is all pointing to one position here. Safety, they did sign a couple safeties, so maybe
Anthony
safety
Harris
could be a team
one.
or safety could be a position they would like. I didn't know they were the team that got Joe Flacco. They signed Joe Flacco. I didn't know that.
You think that's a talking point?
Huh? Oh, I just said I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
I was about to say, come on, man.
I'm not allowed to not know shit.
You jump on my balls for Pat Fryermuth. I'm jumping down your throat for Joe Flacco being mentioned.
I think it's corner all the way at 12. Corner all the way. Don't care which one. I know wide receivers the pick. To me, they have so many fucking needs, and I would rather see them go corner. I really would. Or O-line. They could go O-line.
Yeah, corner, O-line, or wide receiver, or linebacker.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that's not very good. They could go a lot of different ways.
I think with the aging defense, they are aging on so many different levels on that defensive line, man. With Brandon Graham, who's still there, and Fletcher Cox, who are getting older, not getting better necessarily. So, but I don't think they'll go defensive line for that very reason. But linebacker would be a good one.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. We'll move on. I don't have anywhere else to go with that. Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, we're trying to just churn out the rest of this pod here.
We're an hour 15 in.
Exactly. We wanted to get it done in an hour 30, so we're close to on track. Pittsburgh Steelers. Let me look up what they did. What's your raw reaction? Their pick number is
24.
24. What do you think in 24? O-line, right? It's got to be O-line.
With the loss of Villanueva and the loss of Pouncey, I've said that so many times, but those two names are so hard to replace. It just doesn't work like that. Those are generational. Yeah. Not generational. Those are franchise. Those names will be forever in Pittsburgh Steelers valor.
Lore, yeah.
Yeah, lore with that. They're hard to find. They're hard to replace. I think you got to try, though. You got to try, and that's where you're going to do it.
Yeah, it's got to be O-line. I'm so tired of hearing running back at 24. I just don't. There's just no fucking way the Steelers, with what they do every single year, like we got to look at their past. Every single fucking year, they draft a running back between rounds 4 and 7. Somewhere in day 3, they grab a running back. Every single year. They don't value the running back position in the first 3 rounds. They really don't. Sometimes third round they'll grab one. I think Le'Veon Bell was. I'm not 100% sure. Honestly,
no, Lev was later than that.
Lev might have been. Yeah, it was 4th round. So yeah, I'm sorry. They're gonna draft a running back in day 3. They're not gonna draft a running back in the first round. There's no fucking way. I'm just gonna say that. So to me, they make too much sense as a team that would absolutely go offensive line. To me, there's no other spot.
The offensive line should be the move. You're telling me though that Najee Harris, that's where they were mocked in this little mock too. Najee Harris isn't appealing at all.
Running back in the first round is a no-go for me for the Steelers. No-go. Sorry.
I think it's almost a no-go forever.
It's a no-go for most teams in general. But when as far as like a mock, there's no way. I'm sorry. Look, I'll go so far as to say if you were mocking a running back to the Steelers, you don't really understand the Steelers. You don't really understand the way they draft. Like, you just don't follow the sport as closely as I do, because I don't follow the Steelers, but I know how they fucking draft, and they don't draft running backs in the first 2 rounds. They just don't do it.
I like it because what if they do it?
I'll fucking sit here and say I was wrong. I mean, I've been wrong plenty of times. I'll be wrong plenty more times. Of course. But there's no. I'll put a fucking shot bet.
The money's with you right here. I mean, I know. I also know what the Pittsburgh Steelers do.
Write down. I'll do a 10-1 shot bet right now.
Where they got a Anthony McFarland. Is that
Anthony
correct?
McFarland.
Where they got a Benny Snell. Where they got a Le'Veon Bell.
Exactly.
Where they got a James Conner.
Exactly.
I can't name the last time that they have invested highly in a running back, and I can't name the time this time, especially with all the other gaps that they have on that offensive line that need to be replaced.
Yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page. I'm serious. I will give you a 10-1 shot bet.
I'll take a 10-1.
Yeah, that's how confident I am.
Yeah,
very fucking confident. Yeah, we're keeping up with it. I'm so excited for draft night because we have a great, good number of shot bets out there.
Star-spangled hammered.
Star-spangled hammered.
Someone is.
All right, let's move on here. San Francisco 49ers. They don't have first-round picks for a couple years because they traded up to grab a quarterback. We mentioned it a little bit. We know who they're taking, right?
Mac Jones? It's going to be Mac Jones. They are doing their due diligence, as I said earlier, with Justin Fields. They're attending his private workout, as they should. I don't know what they were doing. Justin Fields had an immaculate pro day. Justin Fields should be this pick here. Justin Fields can do more than Mac Jones when it comes to being it. I think that Shanahan just wants...
Mac Jones fits their scheme better than Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Mac Jones fits their scheme better than Justin
Fields gives them more versatility in what their scheme could evolve into. But I don't think Kyle Shanahan gives a shit about
in the run game. I don't know. In the passing game, Mac Jones is the guy who can make every single throw from day one.
Man, asked Bill Belichick at his pro day if he can make every single throw. He had a less than appealing pro day, Mac Jones.
The first time. The second one was awesome. Yeah, and they've been doing multiple pro days because of the whole COVID thing. Yeah. Look, hey, if it's Justin Fields, I'm not going to sit here and shit on it. Like, I don't know.
I want it to be Justin Fields.
Yeah.
It's going to be Mac Jones.
Yeah, to me, look, I'll be perfectly honest. To me, there's no quarterback I would have traded up to 3 from 12 to grab in this draft. Like, there was 2, but we already know they're gone. So I wouldn't have traded up for any of the next 3 guys on the board. I just wouldn't have. I don't value any of them as top five quarterbacks. I think they all have a ton of potential. I like a lot of them, but I just wouldn't have traded up that high for any one of those 3 guys. I just wouldn't have. So that's my take, but we'll see where the heck goes. To me, cornerback in the second round makes a lot of sense. Safety maybe. I mean, they signed Jason Verrett, Quan Williams, Emmanuel Mosley. I know they re-signed a couple of those guys. So they have reinvested in that cornerback position. Obviously lost. Or they haven't lost him. He might still come back to the 49ers, but as of right now, Sherm is still a free agent, I believe. Maybe, I'm just looking at maybe wide receiver. Well, no, they signed a couple.
I don't think they'll do wide receiver.
I just had a major fucking cramp ×2. I'm gonna put this back in the pod. I don't care because that cutout's gonna be fucking weird, and I'm just gonna explain it right now. I just had a major fucking cramp in my leg and in my fucking shoulder, and I just fucking spazzed out for a second. Shit, what were we talking about? 49ers?
You said you said something about wide receiver, and I said I don't think it's that, and then that triggered rage within.
Dude, I need to drink more water. Fuck. My literally right this second, my muscle is going boop, 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 boop. Like it fucking attacked my leg. Holy shit. I didn't even run that much.
You understand we can go off air for this, but you're wanting to run it.
No, fuck it. I need to explain this to everyone. The 8 people watching right now, I need them to know what the fuck just happened to me.
It's like that one time we were recording and we heard an explosion but didn't know what it was. So we talked to our people and it's like, bro, we heard something.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't, but we could. Man.
All right.
Offensive line.
Offensive
line later in rounds.
Yeah, I was also going to say they did sign Mohamed Sanu and Trent Sherfield, just pointing to the fact that, hey, maybe the back end of the roster, 4th, 5th, 6th round, they might draft a wide receiver. So that makes a little bit of sense there. We'll move on. I'm so fucking embarrassed. I'm sorry.
I don't know how you
my body attacked me. My body fucking attacked me.
I am shooketh right now. I don't know what to do with my hands. I am what you call...
The spot is off the fucking rails.
Uncomfortable.
I fucking love it. All right, I love doing these. These are the fun ones. The Seattle Seahawks. Are we gonna get Russ some help at the O-line position?
Yeah, they better, but it's not gonna be in the first round.
Not gonna be in the first round
because you have Jamal Adams to thank for that.
Yeah, which I mean, the
Jamal Adams experiment last season did not work because of the injuries.
Stand by the trade, though. I'm sorry.
I stand by the trade as well because right where they'd be picking is typical Seattle territory. I would much rather have Jamal Adams than have that weird pick that they always make because that's just what they do there.
Dude, you're not wrong.
If there is a team time and time again that just surprises me, it is the Las Vegas Raiders and then it is the Seattle Seahawks.
Dude, you nailed it. And look, we're going to be putting together graphics and everything for our live stream on draft night. and we are petrified of who the fuck
Seattle's gonna be a question mark.
and Raider. We are gonna do so much fucking work in preparation just to hopefully have the graphic for whoever the fuck they take that's projected to be a 4th round pick, and we probably still won't have it. Like,
you know, we have a few Seattle fans who listen to. I promise I'm going to seek you out and ask for 4 or 5 names that we should add to the graphic list, and give me some curveballs, man, because you know what your team be tossing out there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Shit, I don't think there's any Seattle fan that truly knows what they want to do. To me, just looking at some of the guys they've signed in that 2nd, 3rd level of free agency, D-Tac. Wow, God.
They need a cornerback really bad after losing Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah.
They need a pass rush really bad because I don't know if Carlos Dunlap is working.
They have holes.
The defense especially, man. The Legion of Boom is a thing of the past.
Yeah, it's been a thing. Yeah,
it's been a thing like that. And I don't know when they're going to get it back soon. Right now, they just got to play some offensive football and firepower.
It's just crazy to me. They don't have the defense to be that run first team. Are they going to give Russ another chance to be the pass happy team that they want to be?
I think they should. I think
if
capable.
They are they going to actually, invest in a offensive scheme that I invest? It's not an financial investment, but are they actually going to put together an offensive scheme that evolves throughout the season? They were running the same plays in week 1 as they were in the playoffs. I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. Like, it's just so stupid. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. All right, we'll go back. I think we nailed that. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I mean, they re-signed everybody.
Best player available. They're going to run it back, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. Be in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I mean, they have the 32nd pick. It could be anywhere. I don't know. Tennessee Titans, they cut everybody on their defense, so probably defense, right?
Man, honestly, no, though, because you have a bust of a pick in Isaiah Wilson, and you have to go watch the guy that they had that is at the Browns that is absolutely killing it that you refused to pay that 1 year.
Yeah.
Jack Conklin.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, so we just got to deal with that. I think it's going to be offensive line. I look at Samuel Cosme.
Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. They definitely invest in the offensive line.
Cornerback with the guys that they cut.
Yeah.
There's a lot of areas that I think the Titans were short up on that they cut unintentionally.
They cut they know more
unintentionally.
But
intentionally, that was the wrong word. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Needlessly, I think is the best way.
Needlessly.
Because they had the money. They signed Bud Dupree. They still had all these guys under contract, so they still technically had the money. I don't know. I don't get why they did it. To me, it didn't seem like they were in dire straits financially. And it's not like Janoris Jenkins, Kevin Johnson, like these guys, or Janoris Jenkins they re-signed. So, but like the guys that they cut, it didn't seem they didn't have like the
Janoris was an addition.
They were addition, yeah. But I'm sorry. Malcolm Butler, Kenny Vaccaro, Dory Jackson. None of those guys were like getting paid a shit ton. And Dory Jackson was because that was his 5th year option, so he was getting paid a good bit. They also lost Dennis Kelly, who was your tackle on the other side. He was the tackle that was supposed to be replaced by Isaiah Wilson, who ended up being a bust.
Exactly.
So they really need that tackle spot.
That's why I think they're going to go there, but they have to hit on it if they do that, man.
Yeah, well, they should. I don't know. They've had pretty good drafts over the past couple of years. They missed on the first round. They took a guy who had all the potential in the world and just off the field issues. I don't blame the Titans for that.
They completely botched the draft on the Corey Davis and Dory Jackson move. Both are now no longer parts of the team.
Yeah, they could have.
They completely botched it on last year's Isaiah Wilson pick.
Yeah.
Other than that, I love the year that they did the double linebacker, Rashawn Evans, Harold Landry.
Yeah, that was a great year.
They did a really good job
They take risks in the first round. They certainly do, but it's worked out a lot. They got the D tackle, who's fucking awesome. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So you're absolutely right. I agree with you. Last team, Washington football team. Tag Brandon Sheriff again. They're paying him big money. Let go of Alex Smith. Re-sign a Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's been fighting for that starting job, assuming they don't go quarterback. Got William Jackson, and paid him less than Shaquille Griffin. That's just fucking awesome. Signed Curtis Samuel. To me, they had one of the best free agencies of all the teams. I'm gonna look into some of the down the field picks. Picking at 19. What do you think? We mentioned quarterback. I think that's got to be talked about.
Quarterback is up there. They are very capable of making the move. They always have the assets to make this thing happen if they wanted to. I think they got wide receiver wrapped up. I think their offensive line could use some help here and there. Depends on what name could be there for them. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to be cornerback because of the William Jackson move, paying him like they did. I think he's a true number one. I think he's doing good.
Yeah.
Man, a linebacker, a force of nature linebacker. If the Parsons thing falls like we saw,
There's no way Parsons falls to 19, but they could trade up and grab him. Maybe
on that. No, I'm not even talking about. Man, on that mock that they just had, I've seen a lot of people having Parsons make moves down for some reason.
Yeah.
Joker's
been flying up. Joker could be there at 19 too.
Joker could be there in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's some defensive players that we like that could certainly be there.
The safety out of TCU. I think this is one of the first spots that I could see him going to.
Yeah, I could see him being there. Corner is a position beside William Jackson. They did attack a little bit in the back end. Re-signed Danny Johnson. So that depth, they're certainly got to be worried about that a little bit. Offensive line is always going to be a position that you want to look at for most teams, unless you have an elite offensive line, and even then, still you could use a backup. And they are a team. They grabbed an Adam Humphries and a Curtis Samuel. So you got to think they're certainly thinking about that wide receiver 2 position. Although I think it's shirt up in a Curtis Samuel, they might not be as confident. They could be your dark horse to grab a wide receiver. If maybe one starts to fall, maybe they say, hey, let's make a deal for, I'll flip a mid-round pick to get up to, 15. Like Eagles, the Patriots are notorious for trading down.
I don't think they need one though. Yeah.
I'm just saying I could see them if they see one of the guys falling at Washington at 19. You're telling me it's impossible they would trade up from Arizona, move up 3 spots, give up a 4th round pick or something to move up 3 spots and grab one of the Bama boys?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
If one of those fell, I'm just saying like that. I'm throwing shit out there.
The quarterback for me is Trey Lance. Yeah. I want to see Trey Lance here because I was able to see what Ron Rivera was able to do with the Cam Newton.
Honestly, I mean, yeah,
that would be
I
cool.
like that a lot. Yeah,
that would be cool.
That would be cool. My leg still fucking hurts. I'm not gonna lie.
You're an old man. Bro.
I'm an old fuck. I don't know what happened. My body hates me. All right, that's it. Washington's the last team. We are done. I am so sorry to everyone. This pod fell off the rails, but it was a good one.
Fell off the rails. You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. Hey, it was a good one. I enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much. If you were watching this long, hit like, subscribe, all the buttons. We're going to go to sleep. Peace out, guys.
7.